Mike Elko and the Texas A&M Aggies head into South Bend, Indiana to take on Marcus Freeman's Notre Dame Fighting Irish in a great ranked matchup. Now, Notre Dame, will start there, had a very tough loss to Miami. They had an opportunity at the end of that game to tie the game, force it to overtime, maybe get a stop on Carson Beck. We saw the fight, though, and that is the number one thing that I talk about when I speak about with anybody about Notre Dame, is their culture under Marcus Freeman, that this team will fight, that they will fight to the end in every single matchup, that they're going to give it their all, and it doesn't matter what they are down, that they're going to play to the whistle. If they're down 17 to Miami, if they're down 24 points to Ohio State in the national championship, they're going to find a way to battle back into those games. Their quarterback, CJ Carr, looked like a stud. The young quarterback in his first career starting opportunity for Notre Dame, he was good. Obviously, he had the interception, but he bounced back, showed off his ability outside the pocket. When he was in the pocket, he looked good. The weapons around him, and Faison was making plays, doing a good job. Greathouse didn't really have, maybe had one catch, if I'm remembering correctly. Could have gotten the ball a little bit to him, and Malachi Fields looked really good. And of course, we're going to talk about the run game, but before, we got to throw it over to Texas A&M first, because Marcel Reed has 7 touchdowns and no picks. Okay, the competition is going to ramp up. Of course, it's going to be a lot better this week in a big-time road environment. Got this game at home a year ago. Obviously, the quarterback's a lot different now. Here, Marcel Reed adds an element of athleticism that Notre Dame just really doesn't see all that much. Marcel Reed is a dynamic ball carrier when he passes the line of scrimmage. He can make guys miss an open field. He is faster than most of your defensive players, and outside of the pocket, when he hasn't crossed the line of scrimmage, is a obvious threat to run and to throw. Back to that run game for Notre Dame, because that is a key in this one. My number one key in this game kind of hinges on the Notre Dame run game, whether I think this game will be close or Notre Dame pulls away with it, because I see it being a tight game or Notre Dame pulling away with it. Obviously, the game at home, Notre Dame, with the roster that they do, with the depth they have, I don't see A&M with a blowout win. I'm pretty sure you would agree with that. But Texas A&M's got to stop Jeremiyah Love and Jadarian Price. Those guys did not have a great game in week 1. Why? That Miami defensive line and front 7 looked really good. Better than even a lot of people that were high and optimistic on the Hurricanes thought that they would be. I mean, allowing Jeremiyah Love less than, 35 yards. He was 10 carries for, I believe, 33 yards in the first game. Was only really a factor in the offense late. And then as a pass catcher, that just doesn't happen to Jeremiyah Love. And one of the knocks on him would be that he hasn't had crazy production against big-time opponents consistently, like getting shut down by the Ohio State Buckeyes and the Natty. He'll rush pretty good against Boise State. But my point here is, if you don't stop Jeremiyah Love, you don't stop the run for A&M, there's nothing else for you to do. It's just 6-7 yards a carry, and he runs right through you. Notre Dame wins this game going away 31-14. It's never even that close, no matter how well Marcel Reed plays. Because I'll tell you this, with that front 4, with those defensive backs, with those linebackers that can cover, they can run, they can hit, this will not be the game where Marcel Reed will get away with running the ball 15 times, and he'll just be sitting there in the pocket with guys getting wide open down the football field. That's just not going to at all play out that way for A&M. I'll say this, as far as stopping that, I like what I saw out of Cassius Howell last week. I bet you did too if you're an A&M fan. 3 sacks, okay, against Utah State. Will he have an impact in this game? Is he going to have ability getting himself into that backfield and making a tackle for a loss on a 4th and 1? 3rd and 1 comes up with a big stop. Gets a sack on CJ Carr in a big moment. These are the types of plays that Nick Scourton made, the SEC Defensive Player of the Year. Shamar Turner getting in the backfield and making tackles for loss. They had such a great defensive line. Obviously, having to replace all of that, it helps when if you can have guys step up. Scooby Williams, to mention another guy. They need these players on that D-line to step up and play well. Tackles for loss, get in the backfield. You're not going to be seeing a whole lot of one-on-ones. But when you get your chances, you have to execute. For the ultimate way I believe that this game will go, in the sense of like an early prediction here as far as an inclination, I know that Notre Dame is favored, and that is where I'm going to lean because I like what I saw out of Carr, and I think that Texas A&M secondary is not as good as what Miami's have, and I think that Miami's defense overall stacks up to be a bit better than A&M's as of yet. I mean, we haven't seen them play against a quality opponent. When we see them play against Notre Dame, obviously, we're going to have a perfect measuring stick to determine where A&M really lies. A lot of people down on them, right? Shouldn't be ranked. The Texas A&M Aggies, right? Some people are saying, no, they should be up there, and their other teams. It doesn't really matter the rankings in a sense. Early, it gives us a little bit of that baseline. When they play Notre Dame, we can stack them up, obviously, to Miami. But this is a huge game. We got this last year, Notre Dame, with that huge win before they lost to Northern Illinois. A&M have to find a way to run the football, and have to find a way for you to run the football and it not just be your quarterback, Marcel Reed. Le'Veon Moss, obviously, a good day running the football against Utah State. He had a touchdown, almost 7 yards a carry, highly productive, but a lot of the production also came from Reed in that game. Owens also got some carries. I'd expect a lot more of Moss. I think he gets 14, 15 carries on the day in this one. The way it plays out, I believe both of these teams will want to attack, but the way it presents itself is there's not going to be a lot of space. Guys aren't going to be getting a lot of separation because of the level of play defensively. Elko's got good defenses, and Marcus Freeman's got very good defenses as well. So the way it plays out, as far as what I'm thinking, like right now, we got an over-under of 49.5 points. I think it goes under that. I'm thinking Notre Dame right now by a score of 24-20 is my first thought. That 6.5 is a little bit too much. This is an A&M team that is better at quarterback than people give Marcel Reed credit for. They often call him a lot more of that mobile, like the dual threat instead of the pocket ability. This guy can stand in the pocket. I mean, he showed that early in the season, operating well. Texas A&M's got Auburn in a week, a team that very much so loves to run the football. I love the matchup against Notre Dame before that game because you see a backfield that might be the best in college football right off the bat here very early before you play Auburn, who ran for over 300 yards against Baylor. So I really love that fact, that you're going up against that, and that can prepare you in a sense for once you play Auburn. That really helps when you see a team that's got that style. I mean, Cobb went for over 120 yards once again there for the Tigers in their game against Ball State. We didn't see Jackson Arnold didn't really need to run the ball as much as he did. What do you have, 120 yards, 2 touchdowns in the first game. But on this one specifically, I think 24-20. I'm curious what you think down below in the comments. Who are you leaning with early in this game, in this matchup? Even if you're an A&M fan, be honest. What concerns you about your squad of why you believe you'll be susceptible to Notre Dame? If you're a Notre Dame fan, let me know what you are wanting to see more of. I want to see them get after the passer a little bit more. I want them to have a couple more sacks. I want them to get after Marcel Reed and force him to get out of the pocket and make plays with his arm and not throwing it. So is there an athlete in that Notre Dame defense that will be able to cover him sideline to sideline? They have those guys. I believe that they'll be able to limit his production, but nobody can really limit Marcel Reed fully on the day. He's still going to gash you a couple of times. He's just that type of player that he's going to be able to get loose a few times. The crowd obviously plays a really large factor. Night game, South Bend, 78,000. Screaming Irish fans, as fired up as ever. The 0-1 record will really light a fire under your bottom to get loud, to get crazy for this. Now, the offensive line play is always key, but in this type of battle, when you have these types of fronts against each other, that's what it comes down to. Who's set up in positions where they have third and manageable? Because Texas A&M did not do great against Utah State on third down. They were 5 of 13. And Notre Dame, when they matched up with Miami, like they oftentimes in that game found themselves having to rely on CJ Carr making a great play. right? That's really what hurt them in their matchup against Miami in week 1 of the season, right? When we look at what they did as far as what they were on third down, they were 4 of 9, didn't have a lot of opportunities. Miami kind of controlled the game, time of possession wise, 33 minutes to 26. Notre Dame couldn't run the football anywhere near they wanted to. We saw Miami really lean on them early in the second half because of that time, 7 minutes more with the football and them being able to stay on the field longer, where on that defense, that affects that defensive line. That helps your offensive line set that mentality. So whoever can run the football well, I believe that will be Notre Dame. Texas A&M doesn't have a Jeremiyah Love. No one else in college football is a Jeremiyah Love. I've got him as the best running back in the country. Say what you want about Singleton and Allen. Give me Jadarian Price and Jeremiyah Love. You're happy with either of the two backfields. I get that. You're happy with either of the two run games. I just believe the explosiveness from Love, that leaping, crazy, hurdling ability, I'm not crazy about. Would rather have him keep his feet on the ground and run over somebody or try and juke him. He's certainly talented enough to do that. It just makes me a little bit concerned that he might get hurt again or doing that. But his ability, I believe he's the difference in this game. Jaden Greathouse, getting him the football, have him be productive. Leonard Moore is able to run with any guy that Texas A&M has. Kevin Concepcion, right? This transfer over from NC State, he was a great player for them a year ago. And a lot of people are not exactly realizing that he's still on the team. But Kevin Concepcion does present a lot of challenges in the sense of having to cover him down the field. Mario Craver, again, he is a player that you have to be worried about if you're a Notre Dame. That secondary, you only have one Leonard Moore. So Christian Gray on the other side of Leonard Moore, he is going to have the responsibility of either covering Craver or Concepcion. These two wide receivers are so talented. Could go into a whole video breaking down the impact of what they have been to this A&M team, what they will be throughout the season, why they're going to be so tough. One of the best duos in all of college football that really aren't talked about enough, their versatility. But overall, let me know down below in the comments where I'm right, where I'm wrong. Let me know where you want to see more content of in the future. Very happy to engage with all of you down there and try and get out the type of content you want to see. I create NFL, college football content every single day because football is my favorite thing to do. So just want to do it a little bit better so that we can continue to grow and build out this community. So I appreciate you so much for watching. Please subscribe for more videos in the future if you have not already, and I will see you next time. Appreciate you so much. Best player in college football.
That Georgia and Ohio State game, New Year's Eve, is going to be a classic.
Josh Blunder, hi everybody, I'm Josh Blunder. To the 40, 30,